Hi, this is Drisha Ghoshal and Snehashish Mukherjee, and today we are going to talk about 5 key things that we think is going completely wrong for the Indian women's cricket team. From 1st October, we can see a completely lackluster performance, not performing in the tough matches, high pressure situations, have stopped responding to them, and at a time when the whole women's cricket is going through such a rapid growth, we are really not keeping up with it.
Yes, absolutely. And as you mentioned that, from 1st October, the World Cup was there. In the World Cup, we expected at least a better performance from the team. They didn't even qualify for the semi-final. And then the ODI, the home ODI, we have won okay. But in the Australia, we are seeing what we are doing. So I think overall, it has been very disappointing. And the main problem is that the same mistakes happening again and again. That's the main concern.
Absolutely. So let's break it down into 5 points. The first point would be continuous failures from experienced people, from the team management. Jemima not scoring, shocking decisions, yes. Jemima not scoring, Smriti not scoring, Harman scoring but not in winning causes. Your experienced batters whom you really look up to, Richa, throughout the World Cup, no scores, to be honest. Scored 54 today, but scored 54 yesterday. But again, continuous failures, Smriti Mandhana getting out to that same thing, same shot, not learning quickly enough.
Yes, absolutely. And I think you can explain about that thing also, that Smriti Mandhana getting out early to the pull shot.
Absolutely.
Then that issue with that off spin, and then now this issue with the cut shot.
Exactly. So there are phases, and every batter goes through this certain weakness at one point. But with Smriti, she gets stuck there. In 2017, it was that pull shot. 2 fantastic matches in the 2017 World Cup against England, West Indies, and then she completely went a little off the radar and getting out to that same pull shot. Then there was a phase when she was completely getting out to off spinners every single time, and it had become a pattern which she was not able to solve. And now it's the cut shot.
Absolutely. And the most concerning part it is that you are Smriti Mandhana, you are experienced enough, and you have that quality. So we all are expecting, why? Because she has that quality, and with that quality you expect better performance from her, and you expect that if mistakes are happening, she or he will not repeat that, because it can happen with any cricketer.
Absolutely.
Be it men's cricketer or women's cricketer, every cricketer goes with this phase. Problems, issues will be there, but you have to work on that. And the problem that you mentioned, that it takes time for her to rectify that.
Yes.
And it is happening from that World Cup only. In practice sessions when me and Bharat was in Dubai, we saw that she is having long chat with Aman Murumdar. Then in the Sri Lanka game, she scored. We thought, okay, I think the patch is gone. Now she will score. Then again the rough patch came. Then in the last home ODI, during the chase, she batted brilliantly, scored that 100. We thought, okay, now she will score. But again, this series,
the consistency is completely lacking. That has been a worry, and that remains a worry. That's the worst part. That Smriti Mandhana is a world-class batter, but during a tour she's not able to do that course correction. And you expect that again, because if you're talking about world-class batters, they come back quicker. We'll hope that Smriti comes back. Now let's talk about the second point, which is inconsistency in selection and inconsistency in batting order as well. Someone like Jemima Rodriguez, she was batting so well, but you send her during the World Cup, suddenly you send her at number 3 in one match. And then the next match, when the situation is better, the captain suddenly decides, okay, I'll come out at number 3. Then the next match, again Jemima comes out at number 3. Again Harman comes out at number 3. And the problem is, then you are putting Jemima at 3, you're putting her at 5.
yeah.
The roles of the batters at number 3 and 5 are never same.
Absolutely.
So
And
if I'm Jemima, which role do I take up?
Absolutely. And I think for any batter or for any player, whether he is a batter or all-rounder or bowler, a clarity will be there. that this is
Absolutely.
your role, this is the place you are going to bat. Maybe
Absolutely.
okay, number 4 or number 5,
Yes.
that you can do, but not like someday you can open, someday you can go at number 3, someday you can go at number 5 or 6. That cannot happen, because at number 5 or 6 your role is to finish the job. At number 3 the main job is to anchor the role. So that is, it's beautiful that Jemima has that game in her.
Correct.
But just because she has that game, you cannot use her every time like that. So there must be a clarity that these two positions we are going to use you. So prepare yourself like that. But otherwise, if there is no clarity, it will ultimately affect the batter and ultimately affect the team.
And it has. It has.
It
You
is
can
affecting.
see Jemima's performances. It's not like she's batting badly. She batted well yesterday as well.
Also, she looked
But the
good.
problem is she's not getting those big scores, and that's because you can see the approach changes. She's also a little confused and understandable.
She is confused of whether I should go now big or should I
Absolutely.
control now.
Absolutely.
So that is the main thing.
And the other part is your batters get out scoring 100. You want to add a batter, understandable. Who is your better pacer, Tita Shadhu or Saima Thakur?
Absolutely, and yesterday I was shocked to see that after coming, Titas came back after a long time after injury, bowled pretty decently.
And not only that, when Australia came to the Indian series,
Yes.
and you have done this to Titash before as well. Australia came to India,
She did
Titash
well.
bowled well. You don't take her to Bangladesh.
Absolutely. And now after playing just one game, you dropped her. Okay, you brought Minu Mani. Okay, but Minu Mani didn't bowl at all in that way. With the bat, she was pretty good,
Yeah.
scoring those 46, 47 runs. But just because she can bat, maybe better than Titas, but that cannot be the only reason that you can,
Of course, it's not
Mani had a
Minumani's
Titas.
fault,
Yes.
but then the point is, Minumani was not good enough, and it is not even. I am okay if you want to take Minumani, but the entire point is you are replacing Titash. Think of the insecurity in a player. Saika Ishak, one game, nowhere to be seen. I am now scared for Priya Mishra. Young kid yesterday went for
88 runs.
88 runs.
Yes.
I
High
don't know
chance.
if high chances she'll be dropped.
Yep.
And if I am coming into the team, I'm completely insecure. I am not
One
going
bad
to.
match, I'm out.
Exactly my point. And you know what that does? People talk about selfish game. People talk about not think from the player's perspective. If I'm dropped after one bad performance, I won't care whether the team wins or not. I will try and ensure that my performance is fine so that I am not thrown out of the team the very next match. Today, if I am Titash, I am still
Very
wondering what did I do?
Yes.
What wrong did I
And
do?
I think here the captains and the management, especially coach role comes. I think,
Absolutely.
I think if they show that trust on that player, I think that will be the most positive thing for that player, particular player. But I think the way the current situation is going on, I think it is very disappointing.
Absolutely. And when we are talking about the captain and the coach, captain doesn't come from press conferences most of the time.
One conference. In one
But the coach does and then says horrible things.
yes. So it's better if he doesn't come.
So it's better he doesn't come. Absolutely. The coach comes up with the weirdest excuses. Amal Majumdar before the second second ODI, said
Lack of
that
preparation.
lack of preparation.
We didn't get that time.
But
because
how
our
was
players were
Australia?
playing.
But our players were playing WBBL.
In Australia?
In Australia. Australian players were also playing WBBL in Australia.
But Georgia will score a beautiful 100 and our players struggled because we didn't get that much of time.
Yeah. And because we did not play as a team. So the next WBBL will send an Indian team
Yes.
for match practice.
Yes.
But this is not the first time that Amol Majumdar has come up
From
with
that World Cup.
such a weird reply. Do you think by any chance it's a case where, I don't know, Amol Majumdar probably is taking this team, I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
We can lose.
We can lose. It's
You
just
can
fine.
understand why we lose.
And not a really professional team where you
It
become a
happens.
hard taskmaster and say, let's sit down and let's see what's going wrong. Because unless you sit down and have that harsh chat, you're never going to improve.
Yes, absolutely. And I think after the disappointing T20 World Cup, we all thought that this thing will happen. Hard decisions will be taken, or at least a hard, discussion will happen where some points will be taken that this areas we have done wrong, and going forward, not more less than 1 year left for the World Cup, and that to be in India. So that will be a huge pressure for team because everyone will expect you to do well, and this is a 50-over format. I know that time is not going well for Team India, but at least 50-over format, you expect the team at least to be in that semi-final or final spot, especially
Absolutely.
when you are playing in India.
Absolutely.
So we all expect that after the T20 World Cup, harsh decision will be taken, maybe with the captaincy or not, maybe with some batting changes and bowling pullers and all. But the way the New Zealand series gone and now this Australia series is going, we are not seeing any such changes, and I am not so sure about going any such changes in the upcoming series also, whether it is West Indies or Ireland at home.
Absolutely, because West Indies series is in about
3-4 days.
3-4 days time. There is no time to change.
Yes.
I think I will use Mithali's quote: "If it had to be done, it had to be done right after the World Cup." The other thing I wanted to ask is straight up time for a change. Amol Mazumdar to go, and this time not get a men's coach, get a coach like someone like a Nushin Al Khadir or someone like a Sunitra Paranjape, people who know the women's game, people who probably respect the women's game, but don't think of it as something light or as something where you need to give people confidence all the time and not take harsh decisions.
Absolutely.
Time for a women's coach.
And another positive point for these coaches is that they are connected to the players at state
Exactly,
level.
absolutely.
They know that which players are scoring, which player bowling well at domestic level. Sometimes
And they have handled this players.
yes, absolutely. Oh, I couldn't see in any match Amul Majumdar going and saying an domestic match and picking talent.
Absolutely,
Like that.
and we have been discussing that
Yes,
in
yes.
Kolkata, the senior women's one-day trophy. One part is happening, like
At
one
least-
group is
At least he
happening.
can come to Eden Gardens to see some matches, 1-2 matches.
Obviously, right now we are not expecting him to come because he's in Australia.
Yeah, but
but
still.
the whole thing is the approach part. And one more important point that unfortunately we have to discuss: Harmanpreet Kaur, the captain.
Tough time, but yes, again I will say that the gap between series is the time gap between series is very less. So taking harsh decision like captaincy changing, I do not see it coming. Maybe in T20s, maybe I am expecting maybe some change in T20 because T20 World Cup is very fun now. It's not going to happen in like 10 months or 8 months. But before the 50-over World Cup, for 50-over format, I don't see that. I think the next 50-over World Cup, India is going to play under Harmanpreet Kaur only. So it's better that she rectifies the problems that she is getting as a leader, because as a batter she has been a decent form. You can see in the T20 World Cup.
But still no consistency.
Yes,
That's a problem we have
consistency. That
established.
is problem with everyone.
But yes, I mean, lacks proactiveness.
Proactiveness.
Yesterday when the bowlers were getting thrashed,
change. No
we
plan
did not
B,
see
no plan C.
absolutely. And also I did not see that all of a sudden you place a field where you probably force the batter to do something
Mistake,
different, so that you can create
Yes,
a
absolutely.
mistake.
One
because-
wicket there, who knows? Maybe one can
Absolutely.
bring you 2, 3, 4 more.
Absolutely, because after the top four, if you actually see, then the top four were scoring. 400 was a sure shot, but you did control that and made it 370. So maybe if you had tried something different, you could have got that to 325.
Definitely. And I can give you example of the first ODI also, when 100 was a target for Australia, and Litchfield and Wall started brilliantly, and they were scoring around, I think, 45, 46 runs in 6 or 7 overs. But then Renuka Thakur, changed the field. According to the field, she bowled and took those 1 wicket, and after that took more wickets.
Absolutely
And suddenly
correct.
there was some panic in the Australian team. Ball was
They were
mistiming.
5 wickets down chasing 100.
Magdath was mistiming. Suddenly, because in that time, if India could have managed 1 or 2 more wickets, things could have been different. Certainly. So I think that is the point. You should try different things when things are not, because things will not be good at every day.
Correct.
Okay, hard days will come, and it happens to every team. That is not that only it is happening with Indian women's team. It happens to everything. But what makes you different from others, that you go and change plans after the plans. You go for the new plans, so that can give you new direction. And who knows that again I am saying that 1 wicket here and there can bring you 2 or 3 more.
Absolutely. Well, important part is some harsh decisions need to be taken, accountability has to be there, and steps have to be taken to improve the game. I repeat what I said in the beginning: the women's game is right now at all-time high and peaking, continuously peaking, growing every day. Sponsors coming in, WPBL, WPL, all these competitions happening, more franchisee leagues happening in the country, Karnataka Premier League, Delhi Premier League, even Kolkata had a Bengal Premier League. But all this will only make sense if, one, there is proper scouting, two, the international coach obviously comes and watches some of these games. The third and the most important point is, when things are not working continuously for months, it's time to change. Let's not be rigid. Let's not keep saying that, oh, we are getting less number of matches. Let's not give excuses. Yes, maybe we get less number of matches, men's team gets more, but you already know that you will get 10 matches. Fortunately, unfortunately, you have to make the optimum use of whatever matches you are getting. And we are already 5 matches down,
Already
5
down,
ODIs down before the World Cup. Not currently, the situation looks pretty murky. We will hope that things go better.
Absolutely.
We analyze, we criticize, because we also wake up at 4:30 a.m. and watch an international women's game. Then we watch the BGT. and we don't just watch.
Yes.
We are, as sports journalists, of
Yes.
course, we are analyzing, we are covering, we are reporting. And then we also
Domestic
come to watch the senior women's
ODI game.
one-day game
Sorry.
between Andhra and Railway. So we are everywhere. We are following the game, and you too, please stay hooked to Rev Sports for all the content. Not only cricket, we follow cricket, be it men, women, domestic, with the same zest, chess, football, name it. Name the sport and you'll find it in Rev Sports. So all you got to do is please support us by subscribing, press the notification icon, and do follow us in Twitter and Instagram as well. Snehashish and I will take your leave today. We'll be coming back soon.
Yeah.